Let us talk about software. So we will start by defining the term software and describe the two primary categories of software. Discuss cloud computing and its advantages and disadvantages for use in organization. List the ways in which software can be obtained and define the term open source and identify its primary characteristics. So software can be broadly divided into two categories: operating systems and the application software. A software is primarily the lines of codes which provide instruction to the hardware to execute something. So hardware needs to interact with the real world. So to interact with the real world, there are certain base interactions that we want to define for the hardware, and for that we write uh, lines of codes called software which defines the behavior. So let's understand what is an operating system. So operating system manages the hardware and creates the interface between hardware and the user. It manages the hardware resources of the computer. For example, you are working on several applications at the same time. You're doing some word processing, you are listening to music, and you want to look at the notifications about any emails or messages that have come to you. So each of them would require allocation of the hardware resource. So the operating system manages the hardware resource allocation to these different uh, tasks that are being executed. It provides the user interface components. For example, it translates your command to the keyboard where you say, hey, do XYZ. It converts it into the 0101 sequence which the computer understands. And it also acts as a platform for software developers to use these basic or the base functionalities to create valuable applications. So this operating system ensures that application software is independent of the hardware, and it is designed for a specific operating system. So you can switch out a hardware, we can remove one piece of hardware, put another piece of hardware, and the operating system uh, maps to it. Application software is what we are more familiar with, and it is used to accomplish a specific goal, such as word processing for processing text, calculations on a spreadsheet like Microsoft Excel, and surfing the internet using a web browser. So there are common types of applications that we use in our day-to-day life, and there could be specialized application software that people may use for specific tasks. So first category of application software would be desktop software, which are installed on personal computer. Examples of those are browsers, office suites, photo editors, computer games, etc. etc. Then we have the enterprise softwares, which are the applications that address the needs of multiple or simultaneous users in an organization or group. They are designed for commerce rather than a personal uses. So enterprise resource planning, or often we recognize it as ERP, they contain integrated modules that work together to bring the function of an entire organization into one program. And then we have specialized mobile softwares, which are called as apps. So they do have their own operating system, which is specifically designed for mobile devices. And then we have the application software, which are called as the native applications, to be used on a particular type of mobile device. These mobile devices are smaller versions of personal computers, but in terms of computation power and the storage, they may many times outpace some of the desktop machines. Now, until now we spoke about the computation on a hardware which is physically available or accessible in the hands of the user. But now the hardware could be removed from the physical location where the task is actually being executed. So here we may interconnect the hardwares which are remotely located, sometimes maybe 20,000 miles away, and computing can be performed somewhere, and the conduits are used for exchanging data and instructions. Where the computing power or the hardware is remotely stored, it is called as cloud computing. So there are specialized cloud computing applications also, which provide such kind of provisions. And we have evolved further from there, that hardware we remove, we can actually move the software also to a remote place, which manages the local hardware that one has, that is called as the software as a service. And more often it is rented as a monthly subscription rather than purchased as one time. The reason for doing so is the very high speed or very quick cycles of development of the software, and to keep pace with it, somebody else manages the software for you, so that the end user is always working with the latest technology and the latest developments in the software space. Now, software can be obtained in different ways. It can be developed internally within the organization for a specific application, for a specific purpose. Those are called as proprietary software. They are not sold outside, and they are only used by the people within the organization. Other is, one can purchase a software off the shelf, also called as the package software, and then this off the shelf software is configured or adapted to the needs of the organization. So what are the advantages and disadvantages associated with each method? So we have these open source softwares. The advantage is the software is available for free. The software code is available and one can examine it, review it, modify it, and then install. A large community of programmers who work on open source projects leads to quick bug fixing and additional features. So there are people who are willing to work and resolve any issues. The disadvantages are, by providing financial incentive for software development, some of the brightest minds have chosen software development as a career. So they may not be available to do a open source work. Technical support from the company that developed the software may not be available because it is available for free, so there is no urgency or there is no commitment or a contract to provide any technical support for that. Though a fair bit of support is available. Companies provide updates and features as required by the users. In open source, they are not working towards scattering the specific needs of the company, but they are developing it in general, and sometimes those developments may not be fitting the requirements of the organization. So we went over what a software is and its role in giving instruction to the hardware what to do. There are two basic categories of software: operating systems and applications. And application systems software focuses on the work of a user or an organization. Desktop applications are designed for a single user. Enterprise software support multiple users. And cloud computing provides the power of high-end machines by renting those hardware which are placed remotely in the virtual space rather than acquiring those expensive hardware and be responsible for managing and maintaining them. So cloud computing provides access to software and databases from the internet via browser. And software, instead of a one-time purchase, are becoming service. So they are no more products, but they are services. So SaaS category of cloud computing gives companies access to large assortment of software packages without having to invest in hardware or install and maintain software on its own computers. In fact, you have data as a service, where the data is provided by and managed by a third party. You have algorithm as a service, where the algorithms are provided and accessible on call. And we have machine learning as a service, where the machine learning algorithms are made available as a service. Thank you.